Good evening, everybody, and happy Friday. It is November 7th, 2025. I am your host, Sonia, and I'm joined with B. Strilla and J Train, and this is Friday with the Fellas. Good evening, gentlemen. How are you all today? Tonight?
Awesome.
Actually, doing well tonight. I hope you are too.
Doing well, thank you. Of course, shout out to Pink Fanfur, the realest real creator out there for all the promos, ads, and hosting us on her platform tonight. Thank you also to B Strilla, who makes sure we get all the beats and everything. Tip has the night off. He'll be rejoining us at some point soon, hopefully. And speaking of Tip, you guys know he is a Cowboys fan. This is one of these stories that we kind of start off very somber. Two acts of note tonight. The first, unfortunately, is the passing of Marshawn Nealon of the Dallas Cowboys, number 94, who we saw just last Monday make his first NFL touchdown, a defensive touchdown with a block punt, nonetheless.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. So
And
yeah.
just a little a side
Go
note,
ahead.
he was a
Go ahead.
two-year player, second round draft pick out of Michigan. B, you know more of that than I do. And Dallas picked him up, and he played some last year. He had more playing time on the defense and special teams this year. And of course, he was finding the stride. Along as Sonya alluded to, he got that touchdown on special teams with a block punt. And yeah, when Sonya comes back, I mean, she'll talk more about it. But this is a very, very unfortunate and heartbreaking news for something like this to occur. And then Sonya will let her continue on speaking on him as she had a little bit of a technical difficulty. Welcome back, sis.
Yeah, thank you guys. If I get disconnected again, feel free to just go forth. I don't know what's going on tonight, but anyway, 24 years old, had some mental health challenges, and it was revealed he actually lost his mom last year as well.
Mhm.
And so that, to me, when you go through a connection like that, a sudden loss, she suddenly passed from what I'm understanding. She looked very young. He actually, there was an audio clip out today where he said she wasn't experiencing any serious health issues that would have cost her life, but he was going to just do everything. And I just feel, it's just my personal opinion, that type of loss, he just never, I don't know, you can't recover from that. He never adjusted, I should say. And with it being so fresh, and then we are upon the holidays, and this is one of those times of years that depression is extremely strong. And guys, I'm sure you guys can agree. You both have lost.
As
Yeah.
Sonya alluded to, I'll just go ahead and give a personal anecdote. This is sort of like not revisionist history, but kind of coincidental. His situation, unfortunately, he lost his mother at the age of 23. I too lost my mother at the age of 23. She was 20 years my senior, January 7th, 1999, excuse me. My mom died of a brain aneurysm. And I tell you what, it's one of the toughest things that someone has to try to get over is losing a parent, especially one close and one young. Like she said, relatively young. It's just a hard thing, especially you have a real tight bond with a parent, and which I did. I'm pretty sure he did as well. Just you got to talk to people, man. I'd reach out to anybody out there if you have loved ones and you noticing that there might be some different in their behavior. You notice that they may have lost a loved one, or there may have been some personal issues that may be going on. Don't be ashamed or afraid to ask if they're okay. Because the guy may look okay. He played football. He was real tough. Micah Parsons gave a statement, a long statement about him, saying he loved his anime, he loved video games, and he showed him nothing but respect. And he said he would go, out of his way and show respect, that same respect and kind. And if his family needs anything, he'll be there first and foremost to help with any type of situation. And I respect Michael for that. But again, if you anybody out there, if you're listening, rest in peace to Marshawn Nealon. And I hope if you are dealing with anything out there, that you would be able to have somebody that you can lean on and talk to personally, or if someone else is dealing with something, that you be a helping hand as much as you can, an ear, an outlet to be able to help someone. Because again, this is the kind of thing that you don't want to see any happen to anyone, let alone someone that's 24, that's coming into the prime of their life.
Mm-hmm. And he was born in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Grand Rapids, Michigan is mourning his loss. The community of Grand Rapids, and he's been a Michigan kid all the way, from when he started in Grand Rapids all the way until the University of Michigan, and then he got drafted by Dallas. He also had his first sack against the Giants this year too. Good kid. I think the mother thing really was a lot for him. Passing away at that age. I mean, sometimes we're benefited the reasoning of absolution. For instance, my mother had cancer. I knew that at least for 2 years before she passed away. So when she passed away, it hurt, true enough, but at least I was prepared for it. He wasn't prepared for his mom, losing his mom. And actually he expired a year after his mom passed away. So it was like just a year after that happened. So, like I said, our prayers go out to his family, to the Grand Rapids family, to the Michigan family, to the Dallas Cowboys family. This is going to be tough. I'm sure a lot of those players on Dallas, a lot of players said they really liked him. He was a good guy. He's a good kid. And it's going to be difficult for them to take the field knowing what happened to him, and that he's not going to be out there with them. So, look for Dallas to do something for him. They had the Broncos and the Raiders had a moment of silence for him yesterday. So that was really good of those two teams to do that. It's horrible. It is. And I just hope that with people within the sound of me and James's voice can hear, you got problems, just call up a mental health crisis hotline, get some help, please. People out there, please don't go on there and do like some of these dummies have gone on here and done, and just done. Oh, he could have made it. You don't know nothing about this kid. You don't know what his mental capacity is. You don't know where he's feeling. So don't go up there making stuff up because you think that, it could have been prevented because he wasn't strong enough. You don't know what kind of strength these people have in their conditions. So, I mean, that's just stop doing that. That's just.
Yeah, I agree. Everyone has their own measure of what they can, our capacity of what they can deal with in this life.
Exactly.
We don't know. We don't know everything that's going on in the story. It could be way more than just his mother. It could be a lot of other things that you just can't really, quantify or measure what torment or pain someone may be going through. And so we really need to be careful with how we speak on things, and be more loving to one another, man. Because life is just it can be difficult, very difficult. And so, I had people around me when my mother passed around that time, and so I was fortunate, very fortunate to be able to be here. Because again, very difficult time for me, even now. And that was 1999. 20 plus years ago. That's still very difficult pill to swallow.
Yeah, it's
my mom to
also
go like that.
difficult. It's also difficult for our gender too. Men don't tend to seek help for mental things that are going on. So, I mean, it's not that you're, if you are having those kind of things, guys, don't hesitate to talk to somebody. It doesn't make you any less of a man. we got a lot of stuff on our heads a lot of times too. And this is some things we shut off emotionally because of the fact that we feel we have to be men and just go past it. You got to stop doing that because this is a time and age where everything is just piling up. This is probably some of the worst moments in American history right now that's going on with our country. So we need to really talk to other folks, whether it be, women, other guys, groups, whatever the case may be. If you got something on your mind and it's, grabbing at you, talk to somebody. Because like I said, our gender does not really do very well with that. And we need to do better.
Yep. Well said. Well, on that note, on the brighter note, there are some other sports, NFL talk that we can talk about.
Oh yeah.
Wow. If you want to lead us into that, my man.
Yeah. Well, this was the week of the trades, and of course, we've had some pretty big trades this year. One of the Jets look like they're doing fire sale right now and getting people who they want in there and draft picks for next year. They let go of cornerback Sauce Gardner to Indianapolis. They got 2 number ones for them and a wide receiver. So that was good for them to that point. But Indianapolis has got a corner now. And we were just going over this the other night about the rankings of pass defense. And the Jets were really high up there in pass defense. Well, you can imagine that ranking is going to drop pretty soon because Sauce Gardner is part of that high ranking. And Indianapolis was pretty low. So putting him on there just automatically raised that rank. That'll automatically raise their ranking. That defense has just gotten a whole lot better with Sauce on there. And being in a situation that he's on a winning team, they have a winning culture, he's going to adapt to that really well. He's used to playing on winning teams. That's something. He came from college. He was on a Cincinnati Bearcat winning team. So hopefully that goes well with him. And also, Quinnen Williams was also traded, and he was traded to the Dallas Cowboys, as we have been talking about. And that'll give Dallas some depth. And hold on just a moment. All right.
Hey guys, so can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't have any admin privileges though anymore. I don't know what's going on. That's why I was telling you, bring me up.
Okay.
Hire me up. Okay, guys. So the good news is I got everybody shared while we were out. The bad news is I'm a regular guest on my own show, so I can't see comments or anything. This is awesome. So anyway, thank you guys so much for holding the show. Y'all continue wherever you were, and I'll just chime in once you wrap up or pause where you are.
Well, we were talking about we had just finished up about, my guy and just putting stuff out there for folks to, to contact their, mental health counselors or people around him just to talk, period. So this incident doesn't happen, again. Not to say that it won't. It is what it is. But we got into the trades. And I just they probably did, but I think that the culture wanted to win now. But anyway, Quinnen Williams went to Dallas, and they parted with a number 1 and a number 2, I believe. Yeah, a 1 and a 2, and Mozzie Smith. So they got a defensive lineman in that too. Mozzie Smith, in fact, is from the University of Michigan. So he'll go to the Jets. I think that makes Dallas a little bit better. I mean, they got at least in the inside. Obviously, they need more help on a defense. Yeah, go ahead, Sonia.
They're definitely in a win now, mentality with getting that trade. And so, Jay Trent, I saw you were about to try to say something. I'm sorry. I kind of just.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying they are still trying to, kind of do some moving around. There's no replacing, Rico Dowdle, who you've seen flourish, and Michael Parsons, honestly. So they're doing a lot of moving around behind the scenes, but I haven't really gotten to the trades yet. I was kind of trying to build up to that, so I'm trying to find actually on my notes where y'all even are talking about, because that's not the flow that I had going. And the trades I kind of talked about Wednesday a little bit on my show. So I guess, like, who did somebody ask a question about that, or did somebody else?
No, we just kind of went into that because we
Oh,
went
yeah.
into the NFL talk. So, I mean,
Gotcha.
if you want to go back on a regularly scheduled program, you are welcome to do so, young lady.
That would be great. I'm literally like sitting here like, man, I don't have a backdrop or nothing. This sucks. StreamYard, ugh. Anywho, I mean, I literally can't see anything but y'all, for real. Like, and my name and me. No backdrop, no, like, nothing. So anyway, all right. So yeah, of course, this is our week 10 power shifts. A lot of power shifts. B and Jay talked about the signings that got done right ahead of the trade deadline. And a lot of power shifts. And this is the season. This is the time of season, guys. We've been building up to this. This is show approved. There's no more days off. No days off. It's 2 days from here on right now. The Broncos defense. Let's talk about, first of all, our Thursday night recap that we just had. That was Yawnsville. Now, I did pick the Raiders for the upset because they're both in the same division. But that was just a defensive match. Critical late week plays that were done by both sides. And here you go. Now the Broncos are 8-2 and leading the AFC West. Who would have thought, ahead of the Kansas City Chiefs? And not only are they leading the AFC West, but they are tied up there for the league's best. Well, actually, now they're the best record in the NFL. Believe it or not. Like, everybody in the league has lost at least 3 games at this point. Not the Broncos. They're 8-2, and no one would have thought that. And this is having major playoff implications even right now, because you got to look at the AFC and then you got to look at the NFC, and everybody's trying to fight at the last minute for that supremacy of their different divisions and what have you. The focus is now not just looking at them, but the AFC South race as a whole, because the Colts lost their defensive anchor, DeForest Buckner, to IR. So that's going to be really big, severely looking at their ability to rebound from that loss that they just took. And they're going to Germany. They should be there now, probably, against the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday. And the Buccaneers, also NFC South candidates, are simultaneously ruling out their key offensive and defensive starters, including Chris Godwin, who's on IR, and Hassan Reddick. This is going to virtually guarantee that their matchup with the Patriots are going to be a low-scoring game. So, Keith Engel, our colleague, I'm going to be voting for you again, rooting for you again this week, which is something I never do against Tampa Bay, because with a Tampa loss and a Panthers win, Panthers dominate the South. That's all I'm going to say on that. In the NFC, though, the LA Rams, y'all, are possessing top 5 grades in both offense and defense, and they're positioned to challenge the 49ers for divisional control, looking at a fundamental power shift. Have you guys noticed that? Like, it's just so, it's, they say any given Sunday, but when you add in injuries and trades and what have you, it's literally still anybody's division on any of these 4 fronts, right, guys?
Pretty much.
Around this time, you start to know the players start coming out. The teams, everybody, the people who are really making their moves towards the playoffs. This is around the time when you can really tell who's who. Like, I mean, for instance, the Saints, you know they're not going anywhere. They're 1-8. They made trades. They sent players to elsewhere. They've had injuries. But then you got teams like you just mentioned, aforementioned Broncos. They're at the top of their game, minus which I want to chime in a little bit on that. Their defense is great, but their offense has they leave a little bit less to desire. It's like they leave them there's a little bit of meat on that bone that they just not quite. You know how grandmama cooked them neck bones, and when you eat it, the neck bone, everything's supposed to be gone. It's just
Yeah.
all you slurping your fingers, eating all that the gravy and everything else with the rice. There's too much meat left on that bone here that Bo Nix is not doing some things right. You're not getting a lot of play out of it. I don't know. Sean Payton is noted for his offense, and the defense was dominating. And that's without. Did Patrick Surtain play Thursday night? No.
No.
No,
Okay.
he
No,
won't be
that's
playing
right.
until after
He's
their
on
bye
IR.
week.
He's on
No, he's
IR,
not
right?
on IR.
Exactly.
No, he's not. He's not on
He
IR.
just,
They have him as listed as injured until after the bye week. He'll play.
Gotcha.
yep.
Okay. Yeah. So they need to fix that by the time they get to the playoffs, or they won't make a deep run. But yeah, to answer that question, I can only be as ready as the Saints are going to be ready. I even picked them to win. So, yeah, there's not a
Well,
good matchup here.
yeah, we'll talk about the upcoming games here shortly. But you guys brought up a big thing, the IR. We've already talked about DeForest Buckner from the Colts. He's placed on IR out indefinitely with a neck injury. Chris Godwin, we've already talked about. He's ruled out at least for Week 10. Fibula injury, and it severely limits Tampa Bay offensively. Then they also got Hassan Reddick out, their linebacker. He's ruled out just for Week 10, ankle and knee injury. Everybody's playing injured. And then, y'all, Bucky Irving is also ruled out for Week 10. The Patriots are probably going to run up the scoreboard. I hope they run it up like they did with the Panthers. I only wish the Panthers were playing the Bucs this weekend instead of the Saints so we could go ahead and get this win, get this dub, and know that we'd at least, capitalize on something before they get healthy. But who knows how long these guys are going to be out. Let's talk about the Lions being your team. Excuse me. This is Detroit's revenge time against the Washington Commanders, but it's missing a key player. 2. Terry Scary still out. And then we saw Jaden Daniels go down with this gruesome injury. Dislocated. He's out for the duration of the season, looks like. But it's still going to add motivation to the Lions because this was an unexpected loss you guys had last year, and the league just cannot get over the fact that you guys were dominating up till the NFC Championship game when we saw you guys not look like that. I mean, you guys heavy favorites. Last year, heavy favorites. This year, 8.5 points this year is all they're giving you. Go figure. But considering the Commanders' recent struggles and the injuries I've added, and they're 3-6, they're basically on life support right now. And there's no way we don't feel like you guys are going to go in there and it's going to be a repeat of next year.
No, I don't think that's going to happen because the Lions have never lost 2 in a row in the last 3 years. So, and they're kind of stinging from the fact that they came off the bye looking like a bunch of crap on all 3 phases of the game against Minnesota, which they were heavily favored to win in that game too. So it's like with the Lions in this particular instance, Dan Campbell usually has a pretty good grasp for that. And he was all rah-rah this week in his press conferences. He feels that this team is ready to whoop some, open a can of whoop up, okay, as Billy Bob Thornton says on his commercials. So I think they will. I'm not expecting them to actually open a can of whoop up on Washington. It is in Washington. Washington's not going to lie down. They're a professional football team. And the Lions still have some things that they need to clean up, like their offensive line. This is a big thing that I've been harping on the whole year since they started. That the interior offensive line is got to shape up because we all know what we have in golf. In fact, Angie Agar, I don't know if anybody knows her, but she's a person that comes on TikTok and does a lot of the promotions for all the teams. She does the teams thing. But she said that golf is a tree, which she ain't far from being incorrect on that. He's just not that quarterback. He's more of a pocket quarterback. He's precise. He's deadly when he's in the pocket and you give him time. But like I said, I think that the Detroit will rebound in this game. They have no choice but to. The division is tough. Green Bay is playing Philadelphia, so they have an advantage there. So we'll see what happens.
What do you think, Jay?
Lions, yeah, that was a tough loss against Minnesota. I just think that they have to rebound here. And I like the mentality of the coach. I think if anybody can withstand a couple of bad losses, which, like you said, they almost won, but it was still tough on them to lose that game. Um, I think they have a great opportunity to right the ship. And I mean, the pieces are there. I think just the biggest question mark is that interior offensive line, and that hurts a quarterback. Like you said, Jared Goff is a tree. He is not a mobile quarterback. He will slice you up as long as he has that protection. But if he has the least bit of major like pressure that comes in his face, he can get a little rattled himself. But so I hope in this instance that you guys have made some adjustments with your offensive line and allow him that protection that affords him the opportunity to go ahead and tear defenses up. Because again, you got the weapons. How is Amon Ra? I know he got dinged up a little bit in that game.
Oh, he's good to go. He's good to go.
Yeah,
You can't really phase that guy. That guy is tough as nails. You know, you got to remember what family background he's from. You know, his dad was a world class
bodybuilder.
A bodybuilder, yeah, and he instilled that in all his kids. So, yeah, they're all tough. They're all tough kids.
And also, the interior it needs to be better for that run game. Mm-hmm. You know that those guys were shut down in that game, and I don't think it was because of defensive line. I think it was because your absence of real good interior line play. So yeah, that needs to be better for them to go. Because as far as Knuckles and Sonic go, as far as your team that will take you, because you're no good without a really good run game. I don't care what team you are. I don't care how many times you pass the ball. You're one dimensional, and those guys are tough. And so you need to get those guys the offensive line in order. Yeah.
Basically, what they got to do is just play all good. And that was just a very bad. Like I said, all around it was a bad game. And considering that fact, they almost won that game. But the special teams was bad. The defense wasn't the greatest, and the offense was bad. So, I mean, I don't know where they left their game. I think they left it on a bye week. I don't know what happened there, but they're gonna get back to what they need to be doing. So,
well, good luck to them. More movers and shakers, as if anyone's really paying that much attention. The Miami Dolphins waived their tight end Tanner Connor, and Pittsburgh actually cut their defensive end DeMarvin Leal. The Arizona Cardinals signed a quarterback, Jeff Driscoll, to their practice squad. And conversely, the Detroit Lions, who we just talked about, received positive news with the return of your offensive tackle, Panay Sewell and Taylor Decker to practice, a crucial stabilizing force for you guys' offense. So congratulations on that. Now, let's look at some other stuff that we had going on, kind of like a little conversation of a recap. But before we go to that, I don't think you guys got to this while I was offline for a second. Antonio Brown has been captured. He has waived formal extradition and has been captured in Dubai by U.S. Marshals and brought back to the United States, where he will be facing those charges for attempted unaliving in Florida. He should be here now. There's a mugshot out. You guys can check it out. But he's been evading for 6 months the United States jurisdictions, the embassy, what have you, whoever they got to try to get involved to detain him. He was waiving extradition. Doesn't feel like it's been 6 months, but now it is. And I'm going to let you all know on this. I know we talked about it a little bit when it first happened, and this is not giving legal advice. No, I'm not a lawyer. So,
yet.
The fact that, I just have to put that disclaimer out there just in case any of the law school community is watching. They're like, oh, she's practicing law. No, I'm not. If they spent all this money to bring him back, it doesn't look good. It does not look good. It already didn't look good because you had people's cameras that had caught on air, on
In
edits what
Dubai.
happened. And then the eye in the sky, it's always a drone or what have you, cameras on businesses. And they had already caught everything. And that was enough to substantiate the United States fueling up their jets and flying all the way across the ocean to go get this guy. So they already tell you it's bad when the feds have you. It's really bad if they go and get you from another country. And Dubai, as my understanding, they didn't have reciprocity, if I'm not mistaken. And he had to waive formal extradition, which means he had to be like, okay, I give up. You guys can come get me. I'm just not going to use my own money to get back. You guys can come get me. Because some countries will not extradite. And if that was one of the cases with Dubai, and he's like, okay, y'all can come get me, it's not looking good all around, guys. What are your thoughts on this?
Second degree murder. I mean, charges. I mean, and alleged, but I mean, we saw the video. We saw footage that if they have all this stuff on him, it's like you said, it's not looking good. And am I surprised? No, I'm not surprised. Just with all the other things that have gone on in AB's life, and I would have to say it's just unfortunate because on the football field, Antonio Brown is probably top five all-time wide receiver. I mean, he's put up some numbers for what he was when he came out of Central Michigan, I believe.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, fifth round draft pick wasn't supposed to be anything. I mean, his father played arena ball, and you just wasn't supposed to be what he was. And he's a great overachiever. I mean, and one of the best duos with Big Ben Roethlisberger, and of course with Tom Brady later for a Super Bowl in 2021. But that being said, he couldn't get out of his own way, and this is still one of those things that although it's still alleged, it's just a matter of time before something else would have came up because you saw the writing on the wall with all the different things of domestic violence, lack of child support, so many other things, beating up some driver or something. I forgot. It just many different things, man. It's just you think you get
Not,
out of the way, but
not to mention, what's up, Pink? And what's up, Nathan? And hello to everybody coming on. As B puts your comments on, then I'll be able to say hi. I don't have, it's a long story. I had some technical issues, so I can't see anything tonight. So that's why I'm not greeting. I'm sorry, guys. I mean, let's not forget he was licking the toilets on the airplane.
I think that perfect hit in the one game tore him up.
5-5.
Yeah. I think that just tore him all up. He got hit in the head too hard in that play. He was never right after that. Never right. And yeah, Dubai has an extradition for the U.S. that got put in place on July 1st of 1999.
Oh, thank you, B, for making sure while we're on live that you fact check the law on me like that.
No, you're good. I had no. I had faith. I had plenty of faith.
Then you looked it up, didn't you?
I looked it up so I would see what the date was when they did it. That's all.
Oh my gosh, I'll deal with you offline. But yeah, so anyway, AB is back in custody.
Whatever.
And yeah, AB is back in custody. That's why I always put a disclaimer, if I'm not mistaken. That way you could be right or you could be wrong, and you're good. But what we're not wrong about is those charges. Those charges are there. Whether or not he is found guilty is a different story. And like we talked about several months ago, at a minimum, they're going to be looking for second degree because of what we've seen and now the expense. Because at the end of the day, for you all who don't know, it's going to be what they have spent. Judicial economy is a real thing. And that's how some people are not found guilty and some people are found guilty. What's up, Matt Yenzer? Because They look at the money that they've spent with law enforcement and what have you, and what your contribution was to community. You know how they always say money buys the best defense? It really does. Unless you have expended more money trying to be captured than what you got. So there's that. But we'll update you as we get information on the process judicially. We'll plug that in from time to time. Let's talk about, because we only have a few minutes left, thanks to my 18-minute sabbatical that I took, some big games coming up on Sunday, and then I want to get to some college football real quick as well. We got, of course, we're going to talk about the Falcons and the Colts that will be kicking off Sunday morning football over yonder across the pond over there. What'd you say, B?
Berlin.
Yeah, Berlin, Germany. Berlin, Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's go Colts. Bounce back from that loss you guys took. Who knows? Maybe the Falcons can win out of the country since they can't win in the country. Maybe that'll be something good for them. So good luck, Falcons. I sincerely mean it, because you're no competition anymore. So you're going to need to come back on something, because the following week, we got you. And we're coming hard in Atlanta, which will be our final matchup for the season, because we know you're not going to the postseason. So there's that. All right, so week 10 is going to kick off with another team other than the Falcons that I like to talk about. But seriously, the Colts are supposed to be favored by 6.5 points, just a touchdown and a little bit of change. The analysis of the game basically is going to hinge on whether or not the Colts league-leading scoring offense, because they've been putting up a lot of numbers, can execute against the Falcons. Still, some kind of way, they're still top-ranked defense. You see, I was stuttering saying it because I don't know how. They're garbage. But anyway, it should be a good game. I'll just look for the highlights later. I'll be in church. I don't, so there's that. But with DeForest Buckner being on IR, that's going to be a critical hit to the Colts, because that's going to look at their defensive effort overall to see whether or not they can play comfortably. You got to look at the blitz versus the protection. That's another thing. The Falcons do still run a high-pressure defense. They ranked in the top 10 the majority of the season, and their pressure rate actually deploys the second highest blitz rate in the NFL at 52.2%, unless they're playing the Panthers. They play really aggressively, and they're going to immediately put up something to try to test the Colts offense. So look for a lot of sacks, if possible, because the Colts have the fewest amount. The game will be decided by whether or not that pass protection is going to be able to hold up against the performance of with the quarterback, Daniel Jones. He gets to come down there again to avoid a turnover-laden performance characterized by the last outing. Defensive compromise should be created by Buckner's absence. Is going to place the full weight of the rebound of him being out squarely on their offense. So they definitely got to take care of business. You guys got any thoughts on that game?
The only thought that I have on that game is that with Buckner being out, this is the best time. This actually worked out well for the Colts because they got Sauce Gardner. He will be playing in this game. So he has.
I hope he pours sauce all over them buzzers. Cook them up.
He's got out of concussion protocol and he's good to go. So with that being said, the defense has been doing really good. They have a very bad passing defense. I was talking to James offline about this. The Jets actually had a really good pass defense, but that was because Sauce Gardner was on there. Now that Sauce Gardner is on Indianapolis, I think Indianapolis's pass defense will get better with time. So, I mean, you took one player out, you added another one in. I don't see too much downplay on the defense for Indianapolis. So we'll see how it works out, though, because he's playing with a new team. So,
yeah, I was wondering if he was going to be cleared. Thanks for that, B. Jay, you had a comment on this, on these folks?
Yeah, Sauce Gardner now is going to team up with Javarius Ward, and I think, as B said, over time we'll see how the defense starts doing. I mean, but I think my biggest takeaway here is how that vaunted offense got shut down by the Steelers, and 3 interceptions, a fumble. And shutting down Jonathan Taylor was a big thing.
That was big.
So he didn't even get 100 yards. And so I look for them to bounce back against the Falcons. Mind you, the Falcons have really good has a really good defense. So, but I still think this is where they like, okay, we're for real. That game that we just lost wasn't a fluke. I mean, or was a fluke, and we should be able to bounce back. I just think that Michael Penix on the opposite side, their offense, there's too much talent on that offense to be playing the way they're playing. So I really, again, have to attribute it. I said it before on the show and some of the other shows is that the coaching matters. And I think coaching is the problem with the Falcons right now because there's way too much talent on that team to be
Mm-hmm.
streaky, to be
Way too much.
not utilizing Bijan Robinson, not getting the best that you can out of a second year player in Michael Penix Jr. to where he can get the ball accurately thrown to Drake London and to Darnell Mooney, guys of that nature, and they're just again the guys I'm mentioning, they're all first round talent, and they're playing like they're Mr. Irrelevance.
Scrubs.
So
Yeah.
yes, like straight up scrubs.
Didn't they lose 3 in a row in this, that the Falcons' third in a row loss? They lost to the
Could be.
Dolphins, they lost to the Patriots, and now they lost
Yep.
to
They lost the
Jeez.
Patriots, the Falcons. I mean, the Falcons. They lost to the
Patriots,
South.
Dolphins.
And today, no, I think it's a 2-game losing streak because
Well,
they
it'll
won
be
the game
3.
before that.
I just
They
predicted.
beat Buffalo. But yeah, it'll be 3. It could be 3, yes.
We shall see. But I think Indianapolis bounces back. I got it.
Indianapolis definitely bounced back. Another garbage team, and you know what? I'm gonna have to start, putting a disclaimer out there because they don't talk like that on the big shows. Let me reel it back in. Another subpar team is the New York Giants, who have been subpar this entire season. They have some of the loudest fans. We know one personally who has conveniently been busy every time that we chat or have anything going on because he has, put so much mouth out there against the Panthers all the way back to the spring, only for it to look like what it is now. They've only won 2 games. One was by accident. And they're going to be playing the Bears on Sunday at 1 o'clock. Now, the Bears are not the Bears from last year. They have their claws out, and every team gets a vote from me when I need it most, and I need the Bears to take care of the Giants this Sunday. They're actually favored only by 4.5 points because they're still a defensive team. But the significant analytical takeaway from there is the immense improvement with Caleb Williams' pass protection. He was sacked on an NFL high of 68 times last season, but now is only right around 30. So that's really, really good. And actually, they're thinking it's not going to be that much past 30 for the entire season due to his revamped offensive line. Conversely, the Giants' defense has been poor, ranking in the bottom 5 along with their team ranking. For another season, they're ranked in the bottom 5 for scoring, yards, and red zone defense. They're garbage. They're smoking garbage. You can throw a match on them, and they'll ignite by themselves. Their defense is currently dead last in the EPA per rush. And this looks like their rookie running back, Kyle Monaghay, who ran for 175 yards, 176 yards in week number 9, will see an expanded role against the vulnerable Giants unit, especially with Scatterboo being out. And then, of course, is Malik Neighbors coming back, or is he still going to be out?
He's out for the
He'll
rest
be
of
out for the season.
They're garbage. Look for a lot of folks. Don't even wait for Black Monday. It's gonna be Gray Tuesday real soon for somebody in New York. We don't even need to dignify them because we already know that the Bears are gonna eat them up. Anybody think differently?
It's going to be
No, the emergence of, as you mentioned, alluded to, Manungai, the rookie. He probably should be starting going forward. DeAndre Swift is someone that can give you a game here and there, but most times he is not good. He is very on and off. This kid looks like he is for real, and that's part of why the passing game can take effect because you have a running game. Play action is always a real thing, and I just think that if you know what Caleb Williams is going to do, because he's a special style player. He can move around the pocket. He rolls out. He does different things to to get guys open and to get push the ball down the field. But if you have a really good running game, you could disguise a lot more. You can disguise a lot more. And I think with that kid Manungai, the offense plays a lot better. At least they showed it last week, and I think they continue that this week against the Giants.
What do you think, B?
The Bears are right now they're third in scoring, and they're sixth in points scored. So Ben Johnson has turned that offense around, which is really good for them. And Manungai, he needs to start. Swift is not that guy. He can be utilized in a different way, I believe, but he shouldn't be starting. He should be a backup or used in passing packages because he does do well when he gets thrown the ball. The Giants' defense and the Chicago's defense aren't that different. Chicago's defense is pretty bad too. Their secondary is atrocious. They ain't got anybody back there right now. Stevenson, I think, is the only one that's back there. And I just with Jackson Dart in the lineup, the dude is special. He's out there doing his thing. I just think it's going to be I got Chicago winning too because it's in Chicago. But it's going to be a closer game than people think it is, just because of the
Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson, if you're out there listening, watching Friday with the Fellas, public service announcement: start Manungai going forward because DeAndre Swift's running game is Mafungai. It's
I mean, the point spread is 4.5, so it's gonna be a close game. It's gonna be Yawnsville. It's gonna be Yawnsville. You heard him first. Start Manungai to get rid of the fungi of DeAndre.
Yes.
All right, the next game, this is going to be a big watch because the Vikings have shocked us all in their defeat, over the Detroit Lions, and they're playing Baltimore, and Lamar's playing 1 o'clock. They got this one only 3.5 points. Like, this is going to come down to a field goal. The Ravens are seeking to rebuild their momentum with the return of Lamar Jackson, but this is going to be a tough test against the Vikings' top 10 defense. They got a top 10 defense. Ravens' own defense has been a little bit of a disappointment this season, and they are sitting at 26, actually, in EPA per play. The critical matchup part is going to be the second-year cornerback, Nate Wiggins, who's 61.2 PFF grade, against the Vikings superstar wideout, Justin Jefferson, Mr. Gritty himself, who has an 81.4 PFF grade, 649 yards, forcing the Ravens secondary to perform at an all-elite level just to be able to secure this win. B, I saw you shaking your head. What are your thoughts?
I think it's going to be a coming-out party for the Ravens. Let me tell you some things about Minnesota. Minnesota won that game. They came out and they took care of business. I'm giving them all the props for that. The Lions came out bad, and they still almost won the game. Think about that. JJ had 143 yards and 3 touchdowns. He got sacked 5 times. Okay. And then on top of that, Justin Jefferson only had 43 yards. He had that pretty touchdown in the end zone.
I was like,
he had 43 yards. Meek locked him down pretty much. He had to get that great touchdown catch to get that touchdown because that was a pretty pass and a pretty catch by both. Because they didn't come out and play.
The stats don't add up. The stats are not even comparable.
We definitely doubled them in stats wise. It was just when you don't play good in all 3 phases of the game, that's what happens. Baltimore, but focusing on Baltimore's trending up. And with Lamar Jackson isn't the tree sitting back there that Goff was. Okay. So that's going to kill him right there. It's just they're not going to be able to get Lamar, and their team is not. Everybody wants to make everything about this current weekend. Oh, they're great because they beat the. No, they're not. They just barely beat the Lions. Yes, because they came out again. I'm not taking nothing away from Minnesota, but the point of the matter is Baltimore is on an up and up. So we'll see what happens. But I think Baltimore is going to have a coming out party against Minnesota.
Well,
they need to. They need to because their backs against the wall. If they have any semblance of hope for a playoff run, They got to continuously win. They got to do one game at a time, and it means going up against a good team like the Minnesota Vikings. Look at Lawson looking up.
Right,
Right,
looking at his mama.
Uncle B.
Hey, Lawson.
Right.
Hey, Lawson.
So
he's like, what?
yeah,
Man,
he always wants to get up and say hi. All right, so let me expedite this through. I kind of already talked about all the injuries with Tampa Bay. Y'all, this game is between New England. They actually only got it at 2.5 points because of all the injuries. It's shifted. They had already said that New England may possibly pull the upset, but now they're like, man, this thing may come down to a safety. They're still got the Buccaneers actually favored now by this 2.5 points, but now I'm thinking it's the Patriots game all day. You guys agree on that one? Think the Patriots got a good chance on this one?
They have a good chance, but
no, with all the injuries, y'all think that the Tampa Bay gonna still win?
A lot of those injuries have been there. They found ways to
win. Yeah, as long as Ibuka's out there, they got to. I mean, the running game isn't the greatest without Irvin, but they have White. They got White. And they still find ways to win. I mean,
but they got an MVP and quarterback. They got an MVP competitor in playing like an MVP in
Baker.
What's his name? I can't think of it. Baker Mayfield. Yeah.
Baker. Yeah.
That's because they ain't played Carolina yet. Let's just move on. Speaking of teams that are now on my new don't like list, Buffalo Bills versus the Miami Dolphins. They got Buffalo at 9.5 points. Go Dolphins. Okay, people are saying this may be a trap game, honestly, even though the point spread is big. They're saying the Dolphins team playoff hopes are basically out the door. So these teams that don't have anything to play for, their greatest joy is to start pulling upsets on teams that are trying to stay in to win. So the key for their offense, of course, for Buffalo is going to be exploiting the Dolphins' run defense, which is not the best. It's number 24 ranking. And the Bills running back, James Cook, 87.8 PFF ranking right now. First among running backs. So he got Jonathan Taylor and all them boys out rolled like right now. He's poised to have a dominant performance by himself. So it's really just going to be the Dolphins versus James Cook. And trust me, the Panthers have seen that. And I don't want to see that at all. I'm sure you guys got Buffalo winning this one. Jacksonville Jaguars still without Travis Hunter, but with everybody else they need, versus the Houston Texans. AFC South contest is defined by this high risk factor between both of those teams. CJ Stroud had been injured. He's likely going to still be out for concussion protocol in week 10, shifting the offensive responsibility to Davis Mills. I mean, they're still considered the favorites, believe it or not. The Texans still have a favorite of only 1.5 points because their defense is still ranked in the top 5 of the NFL right now. 15.1 points allowed per game. So the analytical focus is they think they can still pull it off. Whether or not Trevor Lawrence is vulnerable with his offensive line, because they've surrendered the 6th most sacks in the NFL, can survive to the Texans' elite pass rushers, Will Anderson Jr. and Daniel Hunter. And B, I saw your finger up.
Yeah, Houston has the best offense in the league. I mean, defense in the league. They have the best defense in the league. And actually, the points shifted. Now Jacksonville's favored 1.5 because CJ Stroud is not playing.
They must have just changed that because I ran my stats at what time we come on 9 o'clock? I ran my stats at like 8:20. So they must have just shifted it.
Is Jacoby Myers going to play? Is Jacoby Myers going to play?
Is Jacoby Myers playing?
Yeah, he's playing.
That's probably why. They have a little bit of help on offense.
Well, while he's doing that, look it up. Keep on looking up. Well, let's talk about the next game. Okay, we don't care.
I'm just saying it's 1.5. I'm just saying. Oh. My bad. 1.5. I'm just saying. I'm trying to prove it to you.
Thank you. I believe you, though, B. You don't lie to me, so I'm just saying. All right. So the next game and the more important game of all the games of Sunday is the Carolina Panthers versus New Orleans Saints. Half of this panel are playing each other. This is the first time that the Panthers are not the underdogs, knock on wood. I hope that don't, we are 4-1 with right now as far as being underdogs, but we were undefeated in some sense. They had a whole stat up about it, but we were undefeated. We were underdogs 9 games and only lost one of those games. So that's saying something. But this is the first time that folks are not considering us the underdogs. And I think this might be the first time in a long time because J-Chain, every time we play you guys, we're neck and neck. And they've never said that we're not the underdogs. So we're playing in Carolina, BOA, and we are favored by, well, it's moved since I talked about this on Wednesday. On Wednesday, the point spread was 3.5. Now it's 5.5 points. And it's probably going to get more before Sunday. Look for probably about 7 points because they know, we might get it and just go wild out. We're a 4-1 streak that's transformed our offensive identity. The entire league is bowing down to the row. Okay, everybody that. But anyway, the surge is basically primarily centered around Rico Dowdle. Let's be clear, Dallas. Thank you. Every time I say it, thank you. He clearly is a game changer. He leads all NFL running backs, even though we talked about the stats from Jonathan Taylor and all these other greats that we have. Dowdle is running backs right now since week 5 with rushing yards after contact, and runs of 10 yards or more per carry. The Panthers' ground game has improved, supported by a top 6 run blocking grade, presents a perfect schematic against the Saints' strong run defense. And let me plug in, the Panthers' defense has really gotten above the top 15, I believe, as of late as well. So for all you pundits that talked about how bad our defense was, I remember still hearing that at the beginning of the Falcons game. I heard the commentators. You don't say that no more. So anyway, J-Train, I digress. I'll let you talk because that's your other side. We're competing with you guys.
I could only give the injury reports. Tyler Isifuanga, the right tackle, is not going to be playing. But
y'all lost Shaheed. Y'all traded Shaheed.
Yes. But on your side, Derek Brown may not be playing either.
Yeah.
So that might be a big loss for your defensive line front.
Well, we look at Roseboom been knocking it out the park as of late for the defense.
Yeah.
Well, Derek Brown had full participation Friday and today in practice, so he'll play.
Okay.
So, what's your score prediction, J Train? If you had to guess,
I have none.
You don't even want to. What about you, B? You're a neutral party. What do you think? It's a divisional matchup.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to play out as a divisional matchup, but what has impressed me about the Panthers is their defense. I watched that Green Bay game, man, and then on top of it, do you think Dottle should be the one starting? Because Chubbs is
over Hubbard.
He looks slow. Yeah. Hubbard looks slow. He looks slow.
Yeah,
when they changed running backs midway through that game against Green Bay, you could tell automatically the difference.
Yep, because Dowdle was hurt, and they had to bench him for a little bit to get him together. He came out there, still played, and you know what? That's the plug I really want to talk about. I'm sorry, real quick. The Panthers went up there, and we had our cheese, and unfortunately, tight end Kraft Cheese is out with an injury for the rest of the season, thanks to meeting our defense. So sorry, Mr. Kraft. I'm the tight end for Green Bay, but I told y'all about Green Bay. I'm wearing green tonight. I told everybody on this platform we was not to be played with, and everybody said we wasn't going to upset Green Bay. I bet you ain't seeing that now. Okay, I'm sorry. Moving on. The next game, and then we're going to wrap up really quick here. Los Angeles Rams versus the 49ers. We talked about that game. Probably 49ers are going to take the L on that at 425. Sunday Night Football is going to see the Steelers versus the Chargers at 8:20. This going to be a good game, y'all. This is going to be a really good game, as is the Monday night game, the Eagles and Packers. Let's see if Green Bay can bounce back. That's going to be an NFC blockbuster. I know you don't want Green Bay to win, B, because that's the North.
The Packers are not who we knew they were. That's all.
Well,
Packers
just
ain't
because
that
they
team.
lost to the Panthers, that's why y'all saying that.
That's part of the reason.
Because we showed y'all who we was. But see, this
they
is the
lost
thing.
to Cleveland too. And
Green Bay was the number 1 team in the NFC until they met us.
They were
And
number one in the NFC record-wise. They weren't number one in the NFC. I guarantee.
Record-wise, did. Okay. Well, the stats said they were. The stats said they were.
They were who we thought they were.
They
That's
lost.
what.
Well,
Yeah,
the Panthers are going to continue. I don't know who we need to beat for the people to believe us. Yes, we failed to the Bills by mistake. I guess if we had beat the Bills and the Packers, everybody would have thought we was,
the Bills are a better team than you think they are. That's all.
They really are.
Your proof to the rest of the NFL, I think, is beating Tampa Bay. If you can beat Tampa Bay,
and for sure. And so let's run through some quick games because our time is up here. College football, the marquee matchups that are going to be going up for playoff elimination. Number 8 BYU undefeated versus number 9 Texas Tech. This is a Big 10, Big 12 showdown. Top 10 Big 12 showdown. LSU versus number 4 Alabama. Look for LSU to just be in, upset mode. They may be the ones that look like they want to just go ahead and pull it out from under them. Number 6 Oregon versus Iowa. The Ducks, y'all, they're still trying to quack. Both of them neck and neck with their records. Of course, those games are coming up this weekend, and the other SEC schedule is packed with a lot of action throughout. This is just what we do. Notre Dame, all the big stuff, Georgia, all of them. Make sure you guys check them out. I know we're rushing this last end because we're up and our time is up. But we really appreciate everybody hanging there with us. The comments, likes, love. Bistril and J-Train will be live tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. with Jack Hirsch for the debate show, and on Sunday morning, the big football show, where they'll give you a preview of all the matchups, and you guys may get some sneak people to come through there at that time. And with that, myself, Sir Lawson, Bistrilla, and J-Train bid you all a great weekend. Oh, and I think next week is Happy Veterans Day, Veterans Month to our veterans, J-Train and Bistrilla. Thank you so much for your service. And with that, we bid you all a good night. Keep pounding.
Peace.